You're tuned in to Repco Muscle Garage, the home of New Zealand's toughest muscle cars, hot rods and street machines. Proudly brought to you by Repco, in association with Mount Shop, Maguire's and Rizlone. Later on, we head down to a few little shows, one new to the calendar, Mopars in Morrinsville, and another you may be more familiar with, Repco Beach Hop, as we report back from the Waihi warm-up party. But first, thanks to Rizlone, we're down Whatawhata Way, an appropriately rural setting, to take a look at a tough truck with a country theme. This 1948 Chevrolet Thriftmaster. It belongs to Shannon Tahuia, who was basically looking for a memorable way to promote his blue-blooded American bully kennel when he initially tracked the Chevy down. Although, to be fair, a classic American pickup had long been on his mind.
When I was 15, I worked in a shearing shed down in Wanganui. I was into cars, and then one of my cousin's boyfriend, he had this old Ford jail bar, and that kind of just stuck with me throughout my whole life. You know, I was like, I want a truck like that. And then I saw the Chevy, and I was like, actually, that looks way cooler. You know, I love the lines, and I felt like I need to achieve one of my dreams or something off my bucket list. It just came across, you know, the radar, and I thought, what better time than now? Do it.
The deceased estate vehicle was originally bought by Corey Jorgensen of CJ Customs in Christchurch with the intention of building a patina truck. But that plan was ultimately put to one side, presenting Shannon with just the project he was looking for.
I didn't see the truck before I brought it. I saw it on Trade Me. Corey sent me tons of photos, and so I could see things. I knew where he was kind of taking it. It was an uncompleted project. He'd done some work on the chassis. He'd fitted the alias in there, and it was just a trust thing, eh? Like, my biggest issue was not being able to meet the guy that took on this project, because, you know, I got a lot of admiration for people who have that creativity. Yeah, COVID restrictions, we weren't allowed to leave our region. When it came up though, it was like, basically a truck on a trailer with a mountain of parts on the back. Like, it looked hideous.
Shannon's special delivery was already well down the custom road. The chassis, for example, was part Mazda. The front end also featured Japanese components, and Corey had also chucked a massive C-notch in the rear. With the die basically set, Shannon knew he was going to double down. Although when he first started, he could tell he had a seriously big job ahead of him, especially when it came to the bodywork.
First step was just laying all the parts out and looking at what we had. It's like we had 2 sets of front guards, 2 sets of rear guards, and it was just picking out the good stuff. Apart from that, it was just cab off, tray off, pull it down to bare chassis. From my perspective, the most challenging part of the build would have been the sheet metal work that I'd done on the rear panels. They were just paper thin, like rusted through. That's the whole theme of this truck, you know, just make do with what we've got.
Initially, Shannon had planned to do a lot of the work himself. After all, everything he needed to build a wild-looking truck was there. But after one look at the pile of parts that turned up, he knew he'd need a hand. So he hit up a few mates, including Bay of Plenty's low-riding experts.
Hayden and Jess from Joker's Wild were pretty on when they helped with this build. He wanted to make sure that, you know, like, I wasn't going to invest in something that could never be, you know, road legal. He knew I wasn't interested in creating a trailer queen, you know, that would go to shows and not get driven. Once he was quite happy with the work that had been done by Corey, he kind of took it on. The thing about Hayden is he can see through all the clutter, you know, and he knows the best path on what you need to work on. It's cool when you've got somebody that you know you can spend your money with and it's going on the right things.
After taking the build on, Joker's Wild carefully assessed what they had and then set a challenging deadline to reveal the car at Manfield's Auto Fest. They achieved that goal, but there's still plenty more in the pipeline.
It's got a Mazda B2000 front end, you know, grafted onto a 1948 old pickup. It's notched at the back. It's got all these Frankenstein parts underneath it. Although it looks like a classic truck at the top, it's just totally modified underneath, and so we need to drive it to figure out if that works. It's pointless just doing all that hard work on the looks when you don't know if it's going to work. The engine, it's just a standard LS one. It's been tuned. It's got a ghost tune, so it kind of sounds like it's got a cam, but we haven't opened it up yet. Yeah, it shakes the whole car. Block hugger exhaust. It's got, you know, engine management system, Haltech. It's got not much. Yeah, it's just a standard LS one. Just getting that in the car and driving, and I think it is good enough for now. But you know, we've got plans to like go pro charger and things like that. But at the moment, I'm just happy I'm driving down the street.
And the paint job is also a work in progress. Although it has to be said, surprisingly, this base coat already looks the part.
I treated all the metal and then etched it and then primed it. The idea was just to drive it in primer and just to do with it. We were like, oh man, we've got to seal it. We'll put a sacrificial coat on it, which is like this Corona cream coat. So it's only there to pretty much seal the paint. So it's not really the paint job, but I think it looks cool.
You also can't help but notice the livery on the side. A pretty cool business card that really brings the Chevy's country theme to the fore.
Blue-blooded American bully kennel. I breed micro bullies, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's what we can do out here in the country. Just enjoy it. Like kids will be able to experience like little puppies and stuff. It's an American breed. This is an American truck. I just wanted to merge that. It's just taking the good things out of, you know, retro America. Dogs don't actually like it, bro. I put my bully in the front, you know, the bench seat, she slides around on it. Yeah, I think when we go somewhere, she can go in the car, and then when we get there, we'll stop down the driveway and put her on the back and kind of make it look like we roll with the bully in it. Image is everything, I guess.
The Thriftmaster is already an amazing ride, blending new school chopped and bagged touches with a real respect for the Chevy's classic pickup flavour. And it's been an amazing experience for Shannon too. The realisation of a long-held dream to create an incredible custom truck, complete with a distinct and authentic vision based on his roots. But for all that, Shannon reckons it's still got a way to go to get to the finish line.
Oh, it's probably only close to half finished. We got this vision that we're gonna throw some 20 by 12s on the back, you know, tub it a bit and shorten the diff, pull off the cab, pull it all down, spray the chassis, get it looking mean, chrome some pieces here and there, get the interior done, finish the cab, and lay a nice paint job on it. The best thing about the car, the experience, is just the people that were involved. Getting to know some of the boys at Old School Roads, bringing friends together, working on it with my kids. Like, working with your hands is like therapy. I'm a tutu. Like, man, I've been getting lawnmowers started since I was 10. I've always loved cars. It's just been a 15-year-old's dream to have a truck like this. And so, yeah, I'm just super grateful and super proud that I get to have that dream.
Now, thanks to our mates at the Mount Shop, we're heading across the Waikato for a new event with what will no doubt be a popular theme. Because for the many rabbit enthusiasts, a Mopar is unquestionably the ultimate mark. Dodges, Plymouths, Chryslers, DeSotos, even those staples of New Zealand roads, Valiants, they're all part of this much-loved subsection of American automotive history. And somewhat surprisingly, on the other side of the world from the source, there's now a new Mopar mecca, Morrinsville. It's all thanks to Dion DeAnvis, who's created Mopars in Morrinsville to fundraise for his son Repco, a BMX racer. And based on the amazing turnout, this definitely looks set to become a must-see fixture on the calendar.
Just a group of guys that appreciate Mopars, and just thought I'd have a go at putting together an event and try and support our son. His name's Repco. He's a BMX racer, has been doing it for 15 years, has sort of got to the elite level. All the proceeds are going to Repco for his international BMX campaign. It's been about 6 months. The challenges have been quite minimal. Yeah, I'm lucky to have a couple of really good people around me. My family's been amazing, a lot of friends that have kicked in and helped out with parking. There's so many amazing people that I just couldn't do it without them.
Hundreds of cars ultimately rolled through the gates. From perfectly preserved classics through to tough, tricked-out customs, the event truly delivered, with a mouth-watering range of Mopars on display for the fans, and all entirely driven by a dedicated cult following, who were only too happy to share some stories about these awesome vehicles.
So this is a 1969 Plymouth Roadrunner, all numbers matching car. I bought it in about 6 years ago. It looked good, but when it arrived, the compliance guys had a slightly different view. The rear trunk floor had been put in, they hadn't cut away the original one that well, and they'd beaten it down with a hammer, and then both quarters had to come off and get replaced as well. So engine has just had a rebuild, but it's still the original 383 numbers matching block. We've put some good gear in there, but yeah, still tried to stay true to the original. So it's got a bit of a better cam in it. It's got roller rockers. Other than that, it's pretty standard. I just always loved the Roadrunner. Yeah, I guess cartoons as a kid. The Meet Me porn was always a bit of a draw. Yeah, and grandfather had Valiants as I was growing up as a kid, so yeah, I guess there's always been that sort of in the family thing.
This is a 1970 Barracuda. I bought it and it was all red with no spoilers and no black, and I always wanted a AAR, so I took off the hockey stripes, blacked it out, bought the spoilers, put the stripes on it, and other than that, just head built the engine and basically finished the car and then not even run it in. So I redone the carb and then had it dynoed, and then basically did oils and filters and drove it like I stole it. I've had it 7 years and I still drive it now and get out and my knees are shaking, so that's got to be a good thing, eh?
It's a 74 Dodge Challenger, 496 big block, 4-speed manual. It was a 440, but it's got a stroker crank in it. It's got forged conrods, forged crank, forged pistons, aluminium heads, roller rockers. It's got a really strong cam. It's got about 450 horsepower at the wheels. Well, a friend of mine says, I've always wanted to buy a Dodge Challenger and hot it up and go drag racing. He says, I've got the money, you got the skills, let's do a project. And I says, yes, let's do it. So we found one and we've restored it basically since then. I have drag raced it and I can't wait to get back on the strip. It's got a new engine in it now, so can't wait, yeah.
It's a 69 Plymouth Barracuda Fastback. I've had it for 27 years. Bought it where all good Mopars come from, out of West Auckland. We cleaned it up and make it look like this. It came with a 340 in it. Factory it was 318. I have that numbers matching motor, but the 340 has had a bit of Bob Mazzolini gear put in it, but still hydraulic cam and things, so that it's still drivable and not too mental. I bought this for a work car and it was a daily driver for 3 years in Auckland. And so I left most places sideways and a lot of fun. And then I just couldn't not help it, you know, like it was part of me. So fix it up, make it nice.
And of course, it wouldn't be a Mopar show without a replica General Lee.
So we've got a 1970 Dodge Charger, brought into the country first time about a year ago. It came into one of the dealerships that I work at. I work for the Eber Group. I nearly fell over when I saw it in the dealership. It's not exactly what they usually trade in. And then began this very, very slow negotiation process with my wife to actually get the car bought. When I always wanted to own a car from a show that I used to love when I was a kid. I was a big fan of Back to the Future and the DeLorean. But when I saw it, I said, this is going to be the only opportunity I'm going to get to own a car from my childhood, so I couldn't let it go.
Event organiser Dion is also in on the act, of course, with this brutal drag strip-ready Dodge Charger.
When I got it, it was original, no hole in the bonnet. I've basically bastardised it, but I built it for my pleasure, not for anyone else's or their opinion. Put a blown engine in, bit of a drag racing transmission, chassis connectors, big brakes, different shocks. Everything that's underneath has all been changed. So it's dynoed at 733 horsepower, which I've got stale on. So after summer, I'm going to take it off the road, do a few things to the engine and sort of want to get a couple more hundred out of it, maybe closer to 1,000 horsepower. Still get a buzz out of driving it after 15 or 16 years. So yeah, anything that gives you enjoyment after that sort of amount of time, why not? Hey, I love it, absolutely love it.
So what is it about these cars that brought so many enthusiasts to Morrinsville, despite the dodgy weather?
Oh, Mopar. I really like the shapes and the curves.
Stronger and better ideas, better engineering basically.
Yeah, when you see a Mopar, it's a totally different kind of look and totally different feel. And
you know, someone was going crazy with artwork when they were doing this stuff.
Well, look at it.
I don't think you can get past the sound of a big block Mopar.
That's a good thing about something like this. It gives the other people the opportunity to really enjoy their vehicle as well, which is part of the joys of owning it.
Will I do another Mopars in Morrinsville? Yes, I think I will. Maybe a little bit more into summer, just so it minimises the risk of inclement weather rearing its head. But mate, with this sort of people turnout and beautiful cars like this, be mad not to do it again. So hopefully onward and upward, and we can make it bigger and better and see how we go.
advanced protection of hybrid ceramic.
Whoa.
Now in 3 easy-to-use products. In original spray wax, now as a liquid wax, and a spray detailer. Meguiar's hybrid ceramic family with advanced SiO2 technology. Meguiar's, ceramic made easy.
Rizlone has been in engines almost as long as engines have been in cars. Why? Because from then until now, there's never been a perfectly clean fuel. This means every time you fill up, you're adding pollutants and contaminants to your fuel system. Rizlone Fuel Injector Cleaner can cure those woes and help save your engine. Rizlone Fuel Injector Cleaner adds an upper cylinder lubricant, providing double the cleaning power out of the same bottle. We know something about aging well, so when we say it's your engine's fountain of youth under a screw top, you can count on it. Rizlone is the original engine tune-up, available at participating stores near you.
Welcome back to Repco Muscle Garage. And thanks to Meguiar's, we'd also like to welcome you to day 1 of Repco Beach Hop 22. Located in Waihi Township, it's traditionally a bit of a warm-up for everything else to come. It marks the first of a few days of cruises, with plenty of new offerings to admire, plus lots of old faves returning too. Many, of course, came from nearby Whangamata, while others headed straight to Waihi from around the country to help kick things off with a bang. Unfortunately, the weather report wasn't too flash, but a fair bit of strong wind and intermittent rain wasn't going to spoil the parade, especially as this was the first Repco Beach Hop since COVID came along and spoiled the party for a while. It also means a November date rather than the height of summer, which will then revert back to March in 23. And it was great to see the event back in full swing. There was an infectious energy in the air everywhere you looked, as well as that welcome sound of revving engines.
What do we like about Beach Hop? We love the cars, we love the culture, we love music, dress up, rock and roll, we love every part of it. And Noddy and his crew that put it on is amazing.
I was lucky enough, I think, years ago to stumble on the first Beach Hop there ever was, and there was, I reckon, 50 cars. That was about it. Didn't think a lot of it, and then sort of came back probably, I don't know, 10, 15 years later, and it's just suddenly there's 100,000 people, eh? It's amazing.
You know, with COVID and that, it's been a few years since we've been able to get to Beach Hop.
It's really good to see new stuff. I mean, we've obviously get the same things that come year after year, but there's always new stuff. There's a lot of new stuff here this year again.
There's nothing quite like Repco Beach Hop. An incredible blend of the Coromandel's picturesque towns and scenery, plus the stunning sight of classic and custom contraptions endlessly passing by. It's loved by all, but of course it's hot rod, street car and classic car owners in particular who are out in force today, and happy to yarn about both their rides and their love for this unique festival in equal measure.
This is a 1933 Ford, full steel body. Thing that probably confuses people, it's got a truck grille on it, which looks more like a 32 Ford. The body came out of Oamaru. It was on a damaged body on a damaged chassis. The build took about 16 years. So that's running a 350 Chevy. It's got its TPI manifold on it, and with a wire-link 400-point programmable fuel injection, which is also controlling the HEI distributor.
I'm driving a 1958 Ford Fairlane 500 Club Victoria. The car's been in the country since 1996, and funnily enough this morning I've just met the guy that rebuilt it for the original owner. The main thing I've done to it is change the brakes. Being an old 1958 car, they go well but they don't stop so good. Mechanically I've had everything out of it and put it back in again, you know, engines and trans and diffs. But I want to leave it as a standard car. I don't really want to modify it anymore. Here we are. I don't think I'll be selling it in a hurry. It's just a nice car to cruise in. Yeah.
67 Camaro. Took me about 9 years to build the whole thing because it was my first car. The motor in the Camaro is a 327, the original block, and that was in the car when I bought it. It had no heads on it. Yeah, got some fuel-y heads for it and put a big cam and sort of always wanted a muscle car that sounded really good. Yeah, as time went on, I got a bit excited and thought I wouldn't mind building another car. So I thought I'd build myself a bit of a rat rod, found a body, and really just went from there. And the motor in the rat, that's just a 4-bolt mains 350 Chev, again with some decent heads on it, half a dozen carburetors on it. Yeah, they're both really just neat cars, and I just just love driving them, both of them here.
This is a 1976 Chevrolet Malibu Classic. Hadn't seen one of these before, kind of came across it in a car dealer, and it's kind of a big ugly sort of car, and I went something different. Panels were pretty good, interior was really quite minted, but the exterior was okay. It's got new engine, new suspension, new wheels, it's been painted, it's been customised in the grille, new lights, new interior, it's been shaved, its bumper's been cut back in, I think, so just about everything really. Yeah, I'd just call it, I suppose, a resto mod. It's just awesome, awesome time.
Ultimately, despite the elements, Seddon Street, Waihi's central business district main strip, was absolutely jammed with wild, weird and wonderful whangamata-bound vehicles of all shapes and sizes. And there was also all the ingredients we've come to expect from this automotive institution: live rock and roll, dancing, dress-up and prize givings aplenty. So what is it about this iconic occasion that fuels the beach hop passion present everywhere you look?
Beach hop, amazing. Just love the place.
Look, if you knew nothing about beach hop, just come for the experience. I don't even think you really have to like cars.
Why do we dress up?
Because we're crazy. Because we can.
The whole culture is just truly amazing, you know.
Cars, people, the weather.
Everybody just loves what they're doing, you know, so like there's never any trouble.
What I love is just seeing new builds come out now, so there's just some amazing cars.
It's a beach hop spirit, and we have so much fun.
Keep an eye out next week for another big beach hop special. We'll see you then on Repco Muscle Garage. Feel like your car could do with some TLC? No worries, we've got every base covered. Because we could be hooking you up with an incredible prize pack thanks to our sponsors. For a start, there's this massive Maguires and Rislone complete car care pack valued at over $760. Thanks to Repco, we've also thrown in this amazing Mech Pro tool chest valued at $724. To stay on top of everything underneath, there's a $500 mount shop voucher. And last but not least, you'll also score a year's subscription to NZ V8 magazine. That's a total prize pool of nearly $2,000. To enter, just head over to themotorhood.com and hit the Repco Muscle Garage link on the homepage. The winner will be drawn at the end of the series, so make sure you get amongst, because this prize pack is one major haul. Good luck. Repco Muscle Garage was proudly brought to you by Repco. It starts with the parts. Mount Shop Undercar Specialists. Maguires, people who love cars love Maguires. And Rislone, high performance additives for high performance vehicles.